Okay, so we have to start off with a fake conversation, and you have to say, "Oh my gosh, guys, I can't believe we made top three," and you're the
Am I
first
supposed?
person
Why do I have to say that?
because we each have a line.
Oh my god. Oh my god, guys! I can't believe we made Final Three.
Yeah, it's been quite the ride.
Let's take a look back at what happened this season on Big Brother Basics.
Big Brother begins now.
First, Max went.
Yes, I wish Max didn't leave first. I was the HOH that week, so I felt bad. He was the replacement nominee, and I would have much rather had Matthew go in week one, but didn't work out that way. Oh well.
So, in the end, I decided to go with Max as the replacement nominee. It just made the most sense because he really rarely talks strategy to me, whereas at least the other people on my short list come to me before important events such as ceremonies and actually ask for safety, whereas he didn't really even try to do that.
I'm kind of pissed off because I thought that Nick was someone that I could trust, but apparently he didn't feel the same way about me.
I voted in the minority to keep him that round, and I thought like I shot myself in the foot, but then I didn't. So now, even though he left, Nick, you and I are still here. So
Yeah.
guess it worked out.
If you didn't have that damn profile picture, Max could have still been here.
Yeah, I know. So I guess it's my bad. He said Marie's next on Skype, but
He's
not.
on.
Oh well, Marie. Like honestly, like I was so bummed when she left, not because I cared about her or knew her in any way or liked her, but because I think that plan to get Marie evicted instead of Chris or I might have actually worked had she stayed.
The whole plan that me and Chris worked so hard on is out the window.
For someone in that alliance to win, take Nick or I off of the block, and then put Marie up, but she had to get herself expelled, so that plan got out the door, and now either Nick or I are leaving, and it makes me so mad.
So fucking petty and annoying.
I would have loved Marie to stay because I feel like, as unpredictable as she could have been, she would have just been like an easy number.
Regarding age, and I have absolutely no tolerance.
I mean, I'll be real. I'm glad the bitch was gone. She and I never talked, and if I had tried to backdoor her, then that would have definitely strained my relationship with Mateus at the time.
It's not my time to leave yet.
So, like, I was just, like, glad knowing that you were safe, Nick, and that Marie was gone, and that we could maybe move forward like you and me.
So now do we talk about Chris? Because I really liked Chris. I felt like Chris came to me before I knew that you guys were friends in real life, and he was like, I really want you and I to, like, the two of us to just, like, go as far as we can together. And then that kind of, when I found out that you guys knew each other in real life, I'm just like, that kind of made me not trust him even more, because I was just like, he told me that, and then I found out, and I was like, oh, poor Chris. There's this huge revelation that Chris and Nick know each other, which I thought was like big news, and then I'm like, oh wait, it's like Nick's second profile picture with him and Chris together. Chris yesterday told me that he wants me to be his like number one, but like I don't know if that's true now that I know that him and Nick know each other. So am I really his number one? Probably not. You should have waited.
I felt really bad for Chris when it came to competitions because, honestly, like, doing competitions from your phone is basically impossible. That veto competition where it was like the pasta thing, it was like you could just tell that there's no way that he's going to be able to compete. I felt really bad for him.
It's not letting me log in at all.
It's all lowercase, no
Yeah. No exclamation point or anything.
nothing.
Guess who's staying on the block?
Oh my god, that
Do you have
sucks.
any access to a computer?
Oh, no.
Hey, Chris, what do you call a fake noodle?
What?
An impasta.
Oh
Oh my god.
Chris is actually the one who told me about Big Brother Basics.
Like, I'm not really that big of an active community member as far as online
orgs go, so I don't really know a lot of people coming in.
Nick won HOH, and I don't really know how to feel about it because just based on how the challenge went, I am thinking that I'm going to be a target.
I wanted to play with him. That was kind of the whole point of doing Big Brother Basics, was that I finally got to play an org with one of my best friends. So obviously that didn't work out exactly as we wanted to, but it was still really fun playing with him.
Who wants to
Jamila. Oh man, I had so much fun talking to Jamila. Kind of sucks that the circumstances in the game forced her out of the house early because I had her pegged as somebody who was going to be here for the long haul. You know, when her back's up against the wall, she's willing to make a move.
First, I want to thank Simon and Mateus for listening to me. I know I messaged you this morning, and you're probably like, "What fucking shit is Jam trying to do to save herself? Like, is she gonna throw Kyle S under the butt? Like, what the fuck is she gonna do?"
I'll cut you.
But I will honestly tell you guys, the motivation for me was I didn't want to be up against Kyle S and feel like people were putting us against each other, because he's literally the only person in the alliance that I feel like was fighting for me. I mean, strategically, I feel like if we didn't do this now, Brandon and Tom, Brandon would float for a long time.
I love Jamila so much, and I hate that that round had to pit me and her against one another, because it sucks, because I love being around her so much, and I loved her as a person, and I just thought she was super fun, and she always wanted to be on call, and I just hate that brought sides of each of us out.
Brandon, I'm up here against you. I definitely understand if you have mixed feelings about me. Just know I really put myself on the line for a lot of you, and Brandon would never do that for you. So I know a lot of you are conflicted in what you're going to do, and I know you're going to make the right decision for yourself, so I respect that. But I definitely think you should think about someone who wouldn't go to a veto ceremony, and then as soon as they're up, they're like, oh, calling everyone. Like, if someone just talked to you the day after they got evicted, they probably aren't someone who's going to work with you in the game. But if you want to go that route, that's great. I definitely put my game on the line for some people. I thought there were friendships, and that's just something I would have to learn if I was in as many orgs as Brandon is, similar to how he's playing 2 orgs right now at the same time. But if you side with him, I definitely understand. He's more experienced, he's a stronger player, and he probably has pulled the wool over your eyes. There's some of you who are really frightened of the wrong people. You're trusting people who are really playing under the radar games, but probably have better relationships than me. Obvious, because I've been scrambling for votes. But I wouldn't change a thing overall, because I had everyone's back who had mine, and anyone who didn't have my back, I mean, you can get gone.
And I missed her when she left.
Yeah, that whole round was definitely the craziest round, I think, that we've had the whole game, because that just turned so crazy. Kyle and Jamila were obviously super close and somehow got Mateus to use the veto on Kyle S. And when that happened, I was completely shocked.
What the fuck just happened? I have no clue how, why, what just happened. Mateus actually used the veto. Then Simon goes off on this rant about there being a snake in the house, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm definitely going up. And then he says Brandon's name. What? Why?
I did not see that coming at all.
I remember don't know how they did that.
Everyone decided Jamila was going to be evicted, but I still voted to evict you anyway, Brandon, at the time. Even though I knew it wasn't going to do anything, I just decided, I felt so bad. I felt really close to Jamila and Kyle S. In the beginning of the game. They were so great to get along with, and Kyle was so upset when he realized it wasn't going to work, so I just had to vote to evict you. Kyle H., that was so sad, because after Jamila was evicted, he messaged me and he was like, so everyone's in groups right now, do you want to team up, me and you? And I was like, absolutely I do. And I was being serious, but I also had Kyle S as my number 1 at that point, because we had both just lost our top allies. So it was Kyle S here and then Kyle H right here, and then immediately I'm on the block with Kyle S. Then Kyle S is replaced with Kyle H, and I'm like, fuck, I just can't win.
Why couldn't Kyle come to this? He just had to, like, do this. Okay, whatever. It's giving me a headache. One sec. Let me open up, like, the thing.
Unfortunately, after the conference last night, I had a really throbbing headache that wouldn't go away. I had to go to sleep and miss the competition. I was really hoping that someone else could have won the veto, and it wouldn't have been one of the nominees, because now Mateus has put up a renom. In terms of a veto, I would try and win every veto that I was in.
Yeah, it was a tough spot because, especially with this being his very first game and never having been through the process of being evicted before, it's like, I think like you don't really see it coming.
I'm crying because I'm a little heartbroken. I know it's ridiculous to cry over an online game, but that's how much I care about this game and the people playing it. I can't do any more fighting. I can't do any more strategy. I have made the best pitch I can to every single one of you, and I don't think it worked.
I appreciate the dedication and perseverance he took to this, and it's rare when you find somebody who's like that invested.
I wish I could have had more like personal conversations with him. We always talked before every round of anything, every ceremony, every eviction. I tried to talk to Kyle H today about what's going on. He's like, why don't we just wait till Monday to kind of, let's see what the noms are going to be, and then we can go from there and talk strategy. That's not what allies do. Like, I feel like allies can just talk about it whenever. They don't have to wait until the nomination ceremony to talk about things. That's why I don't trust Kyle H at the moment. I don't trust that someone who's like, well, we need to wait for this to talk. Me and Tom have been talking about all this crap since day one. We don't need to wait until nominations come up in order to know who we want to vote for, who we want out of the game. That right there, my friends, is showing to me why I think that Kyle H, Kyle S, and possibly Jamila are a thing. I would have totally been closer ally with him if he would have just like given me what I was giving him. Like he never opened up completely strategic.
You need that personal touch, right?
Yeah. Okay. After Kyle H, Matthew Sherlup.
I don't have much to say about him. I really didn't talk to him ever since week 1 when he outed me and Chris as being friends. I really had wanted nothing to do with him the entire game, so I really don't have much to say besides I wanted him out, and that's it.
Oh my god, I don't know what to do. Basically, Matt sent me a message this morning saying, hey, can you talk? He told me he has something really important he needed to show me. And so he sends me this picture, and it's from Nick's Facebook, and it's a picture of Nick and Chris together. Right now, I'm so fucking mad. I can't fucking believe this.
Definitely my favorite moment from Matthew is the HOH after Jamila's eviction when everybody gets on call and we're like, there's like everybody's kind of just talking, and then he goes, so anybody here miss Jamila? And then there's this like deadpan silence, and everybody's just so awkward.
I will say the person who will get my jury vote will get out Matthew and Mateus. They are big threats. They are liars. They're rats, and you cannot trust them. If you want my vote, get them out. Brandon, I love everyone. Matt, you fucked up. Mateus, you're a fucking liar. But good luck, everybody.
He and I got off to a rough start. Like, it was one of those weird first calls that we had, like, later than it should have been, and we both were kind of, like, using excuses of why we hadn't talked to one another. But we had, like, I just want to say, the phone works both ways, Matthew, but, like, I'm sure he could have said the same thing to me. So, like, we just kind of, like, sucked it up, and we're like, yeah, we probably should have talked sooner. So I want to start with Simon, because I came into the game knowing of Simon because he was in Conquest, and I knew that Simon can be like sassy and crazy and like unpredictable, but I also saw that like he was really loyal, and so I really wanted to like work with Simon and have him like be kind of like my little friend in the game. And like I guess I didn't nurture that friendship as much as I should have to make him feel safe.
Recently, since I've got very juicy juice information, which definitely made me think that there has been a manipulator on the loose. So someone who has been pulling the strings around the house. And they're just playing everyone. We're all being fooled by this person. We have a snake in the bushes, and I'm not gonna allow them to get a pass to the final two. And with being that said, Brandon, please take a seat in the nomination chairs.
That kind of all screwed everything up when he replaced me as a nomination. So
Simon was very funny, and I talked to him a lot in the beginning of the game. But damn, like, we definitely went out on a very, very bad note.
I'm really sorry. I lied to you. I told you I wasn't going to do this, but I have to nominate you, Simon, because I want Mateus gone, and I feel like this is the best way to do it. I'm sorry.
No. I'm a final nom. You just fucked up.
my decision is to use the power of veto on Mateus.
Oh my god. Fuck you, Nick. Fuck you.
Nick, you are so
bitch.
stupid. I told you this would happen. Oh my god.
Bitch, I'm here.
Even though his anger was mostly directed at me for being a liar, I mean, I can't even blame him because I lied to his face, and I definitely screwed him over, although it wasn't my intention.
Simon kind of saw through me a little bit, like saw exactly the game that I was playing, and like was like he would have like taken the next opportunity possible to get rid of me.
Well, like if we think about it, there is somewhat still a duo in the house. Tom and Brandon, which are on the other side.
I don't want to put Tom.
Okay, that's fine.
I didn't really know about renomination. Kyle H goes out, and I'm like, okay. I mean, you've shown that you're aligned with Tom and Brandon Mateus, so this is obviously just the best decision for you.
I definitely saw him as the biggest threat to my personal game.
Mateus is next. I hated there was a point in the game where I hated Mateus so much.
Mateus calls me a liar in front of everyone. I plan on winning HOH, nominating his ass. Fuck you, like, you earned your spot on the block. I cannot wait to get my revenge on this.
Also having like kind of like or I considered him like a rival in the game. I don't know if he considered me the same way, but like that.
He did.
I think that actually helped probably both of us last as long as we did, because when I was on the block, I would just claim like, don't worry everyone else, I'm only going after this one person, and he kind of did the same thing because he won HOH twice, put me up both times, and so I was just so frustrated that everyone was letting him stay in the game because he was in the beginning half he'd won a lot of competitions.
You are looking at competition based. Coming into this game, I have no idea how competition will look like, but I guess I am like a dark horse of this house because I already won 3 of 7 competition, and you won't stop me, bitches.
It felt so good when Mateus left the game, but my only regret is that I wasn't the one to technically get him out. I mean, it was all Kyle that week.
Mateus and I got close the round that I was put up for the first time as the replacement nominee.
I want to shake this house. I want drama. I want to be part of this. We didn't make deal that I will keep you. You make deal that we going to put Brandon up as replacement after I use veto. I supposed to not use veto. I regret this. I regret this fucking decision.
It was probably like my favorite like hidden gem of the game is like being close with Mateus.
He's such an enigma. We kind of bonded right off the bat. Him and I formed kind of like an alliance fairly early on. We call it the United Nations.
I really like Mateus, and I don't think that a lot of people are going to give him a chance in this game. In general, he's an introvert, and I think those are reasons that people tend to write people off, but I think it would be a mistake to write him off.
I have been talking with Tom about life stuff.
I've never played with a person who's like him before. Like, the Adele shtick was like nothing I've ever seen.
Hello, Keith. It's me, Adele.
I don't know how he would wake up at 4 o'clock his time for all the challenges. I would never in my life consider doing that, but he was there every time that he needed to be there, and I just had so much fun kind of getting to know the guy.
Kyle S.
Oh.
I love him, Gaga.
Yes, Gaga, yes!
Word.
I'm rooting for you, Nick, baby, boo boo, honey, diva.
Boo boo, honey, gaga. Yeah, I think we got off to a bad start, but like I love that after the whole Jamila thing, like we could pick up to be at least where we were civil. Like I never felt like he was like super angry with me, and if he was, he never showed it.
As if this was his first fucking game. Like he won like 3 competitions. And I think what's more impressive, though, is that when his back was against the wall, he got that veto used on him by Mateus. Like,
Oh my
I don't know what sort of black magic that he used, but that was hella impressive.
And so Jamila's talking to me, and I'm like, girl, I think our only chance to win is to blow up the alliance we have. I'm like, girl, if we're going to blow up Brandon, we just have to come clean to Simon about the whole alliance. We just came clean to Simon, and Simon was dying. Like, he was gagging. I was like, girl, I know, it's so huge. But then it came down to talking to Mateus to get him on board to use the veto. So it was great. I convinced Mateus to use the veto on me instead of Jamila.
I think he would have beat any of us if he made it to the finals against any of us.
I
So
agree. After Chris was evicted, Kyle was definitely like my main ally throughout the entire game. So I'm so grateful. Like I said before, he and I were kind of united in our hatred of Mateus and our goal to eliminate him as soon as possible. Although it took forever to finally do it.
Honestly, my thoughts at this point is that I want to be the last new org player in this game, and Mateus, you're my only competition at this point for that title.
Kyle was the greatest because he was so his sense of humor was like, it was so good, but it was also so disgusting. Which I find hilarious, even though half the time it makes me uncomfortable. I'm like, wow, that's really gross, but hilarious.